Morning, everybody. Leo been here, playing Foxhole. This is a game I've played a lot of. I think it was after Albion. So, when the pandemic hit, I was just getting into Albion Online. It was before the pandemic, but then the pandemic hit and I had a lot of time on my hands and I played a lot of Albion, and after that I came over here to Foxhole. Basic training is what I'm going to do right now because I haven't played it in quite a while. Welcome to basic training. Here you can practice the various basic tools needed to be successful on the front line. WASD moves. So let me give you a quick synopsis of what this game is about, in case you've never heard of it. It is persistent world war. There are two sides, the colonials, which I chose, and the wardens. I'm not going to go into the histories and lore of each side, but there is quite a bit of it. Let's see if I can see the map. So this is only the map of the starting island where I do basic and where you log into the game. Then you have to go to these deploy areas to actually get into the world, and I'll show that to you once I complete my trainings. But once you get into the world, it's a hex-based map where you have to use your forces to take over the hexes and certain points. Each war criteria for winning is different, and the map will change each war. They say that wars last anywhere from a month to several months. Spacebar vaults over low cover such as sandbags, or climbs low fences and walls. Spacebar. Here it goes. Just like vaulting, press spacebar to mount a ladder, and then W and S goes up and down. So a little more about the game. It is a team-based game. I mean, if there was ever such a game where a massively multiplayer game required cooperation and just at least a little bit of team play, this would be it, because you can't do much on your own. There are things you can do on your own. You can actually go out to the front line and fight on your own. Good luck. You may it's fun to do, but you're not going to get, you're not really going to progress the war that way. You can help supply your side. They call it logistics in the game, by getting resources, bringing it to refineries, refining it into materials, bringing the materials to factories, and then at the factories you can make war gear. You can make weapons, ammo, gear. You can make vehicles. You can make tanks. Alright, the gun range. So these signs are put up by the game, but out in the world, players can put these signs up anywhere. You could build anywhere. And that is the reason for these actions on the bottom, because you can upvote it or you can downvote it. If the sign wasn't helpful, you downvote it. The original builder can demolish it, but if enough signs, if a sign gets enough downvotes, it'll eventually get removed. So if you stick a sign on somebody's area or it's getting in the way, I don't think signs don't have collision, so they don't really get in the way, but that's the idea behind the arrows, the action arrows. Alright, let's do a pistol. Now, left clicking, these are the controls that I have to review on my own because it's been a while. E is your key to open up things, and left click grabs an item. Pitch gun. This can get confusing. The ammunition is different for most guns. Sniper rifle, try that. And this is light machine gun. This is the heavy machine gun, which I can't fit right now, but I'll come back and grab it, maybe. And these are the mounted guns here. For training purposes, a variety of firearms have been provided in the nearby storage containers. Normally, all weapons must be manufactured. To assign a weapon to its corresponding slot, open your inventory with tab and click the desired weapon. Once assigned, close your backpack and equip the weapon with 1 if it's the primary or 2 if it's secondary. Aim by holding the right mouse button. While holding it down, fire with left. Alright, let's try the... I already have a pistol. Let's drop this pistol. The pistol is already equipped. Let's equip our rifle. The Argenti is the standard issue rifle for the colonials. 2 is pistol. R will reload your weapon. 1 is going to be my rifle. Where's my sight line? Am I not on the course? Maybe I'm not on the course. Maybe it's not loaded. That's what happened. When you see that little X and no line. Ah, okay, there we go. Now we're loaded. So here's how you shoot. Hold down right mouse. That white line is the path of your bullet, more or less. And the yellow line is the height off of the ground. You can shoot him in the kneecap. You can try to shoot him in the head. It does matter. I'm going to aim for the bullseye. This is new. It just showed me a damage in range. 13 meters, I did 58 damage. Let's see what it does to the head. 55 damage. Okay, maybe it doesn't matter. There's a bullseye, 62, 8 meters. At 21 meters, still with a hit. You can only have 2 equipped at the same time, so let's try the sniper rifle. Now, notice how I could see very far away with the sniper rifle. I could pan and look way, way far away. But for some reason, I can't shoot. I'm not sure how to use a sniper rifle. Is it possible I have the wrong ammo? No, it says it's got 10 out of 10. Keep an eye on your crosshairs. When they are close together, you have a much greater chance of hitting your target. Every shot will reduce stability. There are 3 ways to increase stability. 1, standing still. 2, crouching with C. 3, going prone with X. Being prone gives you the greatest stability, but at the cost of mobility. From what I remember, going prone in the game does not necessarily give you a very good advantage of not being shot if you're out in the open. It does reduce your profile and makes it slightly harder for you to hit. But okay, yeah, I think that in order to fire the sniper rifle, you have to be crouching or prone. I think I might have missed. I didn't see any feedback on my damage. Let's try the light machine gun, or the pitch gun. This is the pitch gun. This takes the place of your primary, so this takes the place of the pistol. I'm not going to read the description of every weapon here, but they're all different. They all do different things. I think this is more of a short range. I don't have the ammo for this actually. All right, let's move on to mounting a gun. Could I? This is an infantry support gun that needs some ammo. Ammo is sectioned off into individual magazines. Be careful not to carry too many. They can get heavy, and if you're not paying attention, it could be wasteful. Once you reload with R, you discard your old magazine, so only reload when absolutely necessary. Okay. Grenades are equipped from your inventory just like any other weapon. Into the third slot. Grenades are thrown in an arc, which you can visualize while aiming with the right mouse button. The left mouse button throws the grenade. Do I have a grenade? I don't have them. Where were they? There we go. Well, I'm walking a lot slower because I am carrying things that are very heavy. Equipping the grenade doesn't help. See how that little red box in the top left still shows that I'm encumbered. I'll drop the light machine gun. Notice when you drop things on the ground, they don't disappear forever. They go down in boxes, and any player can come and pick them up. Here's the grenade tossing. Got RPGs. $375 damage. And then the anti-tank gun. You have to be prone. Or, sorry, you have to be kneeling. I can barely move, I'm so heavy. Drop, 50 damage. Alright, so you get the idea with the weapons. How do you unequip a weapon? No, you just left click on it. There's no zoom, so this is the camera, always. Cameras like this, it's a top-down. I mean, you can call it isometric if you want, but I think it's a lot more top-down than it is isometric. This course is designed to test you. Grab a friend and ask them to shoot at you while you move from cover to cover. Take shots at them along the way. Okay, well I have no friends. At least none that are up at 4:30 in the morning. Play video games like I do. Okay, I am often what do you call it? I'm often a combat medic when I play out in the field doing infantry stuff. So let me review this quick. There are 3 types of med gear. Bandages go in the 3rd slot. They stop bleeding. You'll see an icon when you're bleeding. First aid kits heal wounds and require bandages. And trauma kits heal critical wounds and require plasma. Equip these as you would a weapon. So when you're walking around as a combat medic with these things, you can't shoot anybody. Trauma kits and first aid kits can only be used on other soldiers. You can't use them on yourself. You can use bandages on yourself. To help a wounded comrade when you have no supplies, press E on their wounded body to carry them to safety. Then press V to drop them on the ground. Critically wounded soldiers can be picked up with E, then loaded onto an ambulance or treated at a hospital or field hospital, which of course would be built by the builders. There's first aid. These are the bandages, the trauma kits, and there should be plasma in here. Alright. On top of providing protection, using cover will give you a boost on stability. Keep an eye on the shield at the bottom of the screen. Depending on how deep in cover you are, will determine the boost. If you're fired on, you will eventually become suppressed, which will reduce and eventually negate the stability boost. Being suppressed out in the open will negatively impact your stability. You can't suppress structures by firing at them, which will slow or stop their rate of fire, as well as prevent players inside them from shooting out. Test out cover on the different parts of the wall in front of you. Try shooting the pillbox until the flag flashes white, indicating that it is suppressed. There's the pillbox up here. These things I either forgot or didn't know, or they could be new because there was an infantry update recently. Flag is blue right now. See that little flag? Why can't I? pistol ammo. That's the problem. And that is machine gun ammo. I'm not going to go all the way back to get ammo. Shift, by the way, is sprint. You could have your fellow sprint, but up in the top left there is a stamina bar. Oh, here's a machine gun. Surprised he can hold on to that. Usually you have to mount these things. Blinking white. It's not steady white, so I don't know if that is the state you wanted it or not. I couldn't get it to hold white even with a full magazine of that light machine gun. But that's the idea. Let's see. Structures and players can catch fire. Prevent fires from spreading to other structures by dousing them with water. Equip a water bucket and fill it facing the water well. Press R. Aim the water bucket at the burning structure with right mouse button and throw it with left. I don't remember this. Yeah, I don't remember fires. I remember, you know, when you blow up a tank and stuff, they'll go on fire for a little bit, but nothing spread. Nothing that you can put out. Well, maybe that's just something I did not pay much attention to. I was a logistics man when I played. I supplied the front line. Well, I missed. Oh, I didn't. You get the idea. Visibility is an important consideration when navigating the battlefield. Anything your character can see will become visible on screen. Hiding in grass, behind walls, and bushes are all useful options for a stealthy approach. Moving while hidden will expose you, and if you are hiding near an enemy soldier in the same bush or inside smoke, you may still be able to see each other. Try testing the results with the other soldiers in the grass ahead. So I remember when I first started to play this, the corners of your screen had the best, had the longest view, had the longest sight line. Now, you can change your perspective as far as direction. You can't change your zoom, but you could change where you're looking. So if I wanted to attack down this road, I used to just point the corner. So I'm headed south, and I would go this way because I could see furthest. Now they just added, not just, but one of their updates was if you hold the right mouse button as if you're going to aim your weapon, and then stretch down, you can see further. And you can do that in any direction. So now using the corners of your screen are not really an advantage anymore. And that was an advantage to some players who had, I think that if you had a wider screen or a bigger screen, maybe that you had an advantage. I don't know. But that's how they did it. Now you can kind of, see around you by pressing the right mouse button. Do I want to do logistics yet? What's this way? The artillery range is down there. Let's do Logi, because there are new things that I need to learn. When I logged in last time, there were a lot of new things, and it was a little overwhelming. So I logged out and I didn't log back in for a while until now, actually. Logi training. To fuel a vehicle, first refine or acquire diesel or petrol. Diesel's basic, petrol is a more refined fuel. For training purposes, you can find some in the storage box. Press tab to open your inventory, left click the button to equip the fuel, and then once equipped, you go to a vehicle, you hold down the left mouse button. So there's the petrol, here's the diesel can. Take a sledgehammer. I don't need the machine gun. I don't think I need a bucket anymore. You always want to keep the hammer on you if possible. Use the jerry can and then just click on the truck. It does not take diesel as fuel. Hold on. There's a menu that switches the type of fuel it takes. Right now it wants to take petrol. If you click on this, would you like to change the vehicle's fuel from petrol to diesel? Existing fuel will be siphoned. Let's change the fuel. Gives you, I guess it gives you the remaining petrol in your inventory. Now I can fill it with diesel. There are much better ways to fuel vehicles, by the way. There are tankers and stuff around, so you just pull up to the tanker and you can fuel it that way. Alright. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to get in there yet. Q enters. Let's go down here. There should be some resource deposits. So I'm standing in a sulfur field. This sulfur, the most common you'll get in the beginning of a war is, well, the only thing really that's helpful at the very start of a war is salvage. And then components become very important for building bigger and better vehicles, tanks and stuff. And then you can build mines. There will be some mines on the map. And these mines you can pull a vehicle up to and just take out with the vehicle. You don't have to actually mine it. Like the mine is mining it, if that makes sense. So this mine is a sulfur mine. It's actually just making the sulfur. And if I pull my truck up around here, I could just load that up. You see somebody's doing it over here with a harvester. But in the beginning of the war, all you're going to have is your hammer. So you equip your lousy little hammer. You go over to a deposit and you bang on it. Now, I can't do sulfur with a hammer. You need the sledgehammer. Sledgehammer has to be developed. So in the wars, each war is different. So depending on the war, you start with certain things. But I've rarely ever, if ever, seen a war starting with a sledgehammer. You start with the hammer, and then you have to develop the sledge. This gets tedious, but it's sort of like chopping wood. It's therapeutic. You bang on the resource. It gathers into your inventory automatically. If you see the bottom left of the screen, each hit is getting 2 sulfur into my inventory. Okay. Gather too much and you'll become very heavy. So I always like to keep my truck nearby. Now this is all probably an outdated method. What's this quick transfer? Shift, left click, quick transfer everything into your hauler. So anyway, like I was saying, I think you could set up, you could build automatic harvester machines around a mine or a deposit like this. And they'll go, you put fuel in them. I think you may have to connect them to electricity, and they'll just collect resources for you. So in the beginning of the war, you'll see people doing this, like what I'm doing. But once the war gets, once it gets going in the war, what'll happen is players will have to do less of that because I think it gets more automated. But that's something new. When I was playing, you had to do it by hand, or you had to use this truck over here, the harvester. The harvesters are like the sledgehammers; they have to be developed first. I don't think you have to get out of your truck. If you press E, you can see now I'm close enough to the sulfur mine, and it has generated 2.7k of sulfur. If I shift left click on that, it puts 300 of it into my hauler, 300 at a time. Until full. Now I'm 100% full. So you can see that that's much easier than walking around hitting a deposit. It's locked. Okay. You're not supposed to use that in this tutorial. This is a salvage mine, same thing. This is a salvage field. This is the starter resource, and throughout the game, the most common and probably the most necessary. You always need salvage. So you'll be doing a lot of this beginning with a hammer, and then eventually with a sledgehammer, and then, you know, with the advanced technology. I think you always want to hit these when you see them. See how these look different? These might give you, well, this is components. These are components, which are the bolt, but see this different graphic here. You want to hit those because I think they give you better material. Yeah, see, they gave me, let's see what that is. Iron. Iron can be refined into iron alloy, which is used in the prototyping process for vehicles. I don't know much about the prototyping process, so I can't really say much about it, but I think it has something to do with the technology and development. Once the war progresses and you put enough research into something, you can make prototypes and put them out into the battlefield. They Basic scrapping. I think this just explains everything I already said. Resources are used to manufacture everything from ammo to medic supplies and tanks. Each item requires different materials to manufacture, but it first must be refined. Alright, let's go back and get the truck and drive it over here and put the sulfur into the refinery. Close enough now. Press E. Now you access the refinery. I have sulfur, so I would click on sulfur here, and that just puts a little bit in. If you want to put all of it in, you shift click, and now all of it has been dumped into the refinery and will be refined down to heavy explosive powder in a 5-to-1 ratio. So for every 5 sulfur, you're going to get 1 heavy explosive powder. Heavy explosive powder is going to be used for producing heavy weapons. And that's it, simple as that. That's the beginning of the war. That's what you want to do. You want to get all these different types of materials and refine them. This is the stockpile. This is public. So if you put something in here, players can come and take them out. What you have in here is yours for 2 days and 1 hour. Once it expires, it goes into public. There is a stockpile actions log, and it shows you what people are doing. So if you see the same person coming in here and taking resources out, you know that they're users, not contributors. That's not to say that's bad. They could be using that stuff to make fantastic weapons and vehicles, which is what they're supposed to be doing. Maybe they're not gatherers, maybe they're crafters, you know, in a sense, which is fine. When I played, I was mostly a gatherer. I gathered the materials, I dumped them in the refinery, and I let other people take it and generate items, because I wasn't I didn't have the information required to most efficiently generate materials, because you have to know the state of the war, you have to know what's needed. Now that's all logistics that I'll get into probably in another video. I did get into that as I played. I was able to pinpoint, okay, I need to build so many rifles and so much ammo because this outpost somewhere on the map needs it, they require it. Alright, this is mining of resources, which I went over. This is the iron and aluminum. These are the special, like, see that graphic right here where my dot is. If I hit that a few times, I'm probably going to get iron again or aluminum. Let's see. Yeah, see, I'm getting enough iron. It takes a minute to recognize the difference. Regular scrap is tires and looks like sheet metal. But these other pieces give you that special stuff. And if you hit that, see how it's flashed? See how it's like a spark? I think that gives you like a bonus. Inventory's full. If you hit that, I think it gives you a bonus. I think it gives you like more resources in the shot instead of just the 20 that I've been getting or whatever it was. Oh, I got tired. My stamina ran out and he'd had enough because I was sprinting. Those footprints, I think, are new. Alright, let's So shift left clicking puts the resources into the refinery here. These are raw, these are processed. Alright, how do I get it in here? Alright, I have to click on this. Scrap could be used to make 3 different items. Basic materials, which are common. The most common thing. You can use it to make diesel. You can use it to make explosive powder, which make explosive weapons. Alright, I went over most of this already. That was an outside. One thing it mentioned is you can always press this question mark or hover over it, and it'll give you the rundown. So the refinery converts raw materials into raw resources into materials which are used to create items, vehicles, and structures. There are 2 modes for making orders. I didn't go over this, so this is important. Personal and public. So here's the tab right up here. Right now, everything I make becomes mine, and like I said, it stays in here for 2 days. If I switch this to public, we will automatically transfer it over. Let's see. Oh, get up. The expiry time is 50 hours. So basically a little more than 2 days. If in public mode, refined resources will be deposited into the public stockpile, so it goes into public immediately. Alright, I'm back at the basic. Those are the 2 most important training. They do have vehicle training. They have the driving course here. They have an artillery range, which I really should visit. Artillery, though, is funny. You need several people to do it. You need a guy firing the gun. You need a guy aiming the gun. You need spotters. And then you need several people moving ammo, because the ammo is big and heavy. You could carry, like, one guy carries a shell on his shoulder and brings it over. That's how it used to be anyway. Trench training. Never did that. I was never a builder, so I should mention there are really 3 types of jobs in the game. There may be more now that I haven't played and the game has developed. There is the soldier, the infantry soldier, the artillery, the tank soldier, the guys that go out and fight the war. Then there's the logistics, the guys that either are gathering resources, refining resources, turning refined material into useful items. Those are the logi guys. Not only do they make the stuff, gather and make the stuff, but they bring it to the lines, to the front lines where they're needed. Those are also logistics guys. So there are really 2 parts of logistics. And then the third job, I guess you'd call it, is a builder. I call them engineers, but in the game they call them builders. And those are guys that actually build up bases and all kinds of things on the map. You can build all kinds of things. Facility training is down here. Small assembly station. Alright, so when I learned the game, it was pretty popular. And what I did was, I was in here running through these tutorials like you saw me do. And there were other people in here. There were vets in here. And they would stand by. And they would be like, hey, do you need help? Would you like me to help you? And they would take you through the game. Not this. They would take you right into the game. And they would teach you the game. I don't see many people here now, but it is 5 o'clock in the morning. And I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I will do another one soon. And I'm probably going to continue here on the island with some other trainings. I'll quickly go through vehicle training, although I kind of did up here in Logi. You know, Q gets in. It shows you how to fuel it. But I want to see what they say about the vehicle training here. They may tell you about the garage and how to assemble vehicles, which is important. I want to check out the artillery range, and I definitely want to check out the facility training down here. I'm not sure about the trench training because I'm not building trenches. Trenches are annoying. People tend to build way too many trenches in the game, and they're helpful to a point, but they also can get in the way and they can be very annoying. So I'll leave that to the builders. I don't plan on being a builder. I never was a builder and I never will be. The extent of my building are building like recon towers that light up the roads. Let's say this is on the main world map. What I'll do in the beginning of the war is I will build watchtowers so that I can see if there are any partisans moving around in this area. Partisans are enemy soldiers who have infiltrated the interior of our lines and try to sabotage. And you can build structures to uncover the, I guess you'd say, get rid of the fog of war. And you can see little red dots, and that means that there are enemies there. So that's the extent of my building. Alright, that'll be all for my first quick run through on Foxhole. This is all pretty much for me because I want to play the game again. And in order to play this game, you really have to know what you're doing. I'm not saying you can't wing it and go out there and just do stuff. You can. But in order for me to enjoy the game, I really need to be helpful and be able to really contribute. Somebody's building a gun here. And so I want to be able to know what I'm doing. Alright, so that has been Foxhole. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it has been slightly helpful. There are many, many videos on this that you can check on YouTube, Twitch, with very experienced players that can show you the ropes. Or you can stick around with me, the old noob, trying to get back into the game. Right now I'm a colonial. I've played both sides, and you can play both sides. However, one more quick thing before I log off. You cannot switch sides like you can in Warhammer Online, Dark Age of Camelot, and those PvP games. Once you pick a side, you have a few minutes to decide if it's for you, and after, I don't know, that period of time passes, you are stuck in that faction until the end of the war, which could go on for a month or two. Yes, you joined right at the end. Sorry, Darnock. I'm headed off to another game because I have it scheduled. I was planning on playing some, but I talked about a few things, and what I'll do is I always post these onto YouTube, so you could look at YouTube if you want to check it out. Or I was just saying you can always find these types of videos on YouTube where people talk about tutorials and how to play Foxhole. Very helpful because it is a complicated game. But like I was saying, I don't know if you were here when I was saying a lot of times you can find players in here that are vets that take new players around. Like this guy is a corporal. He is not a new player. If I asked him right now to show me the ropes, he probably will, because the game's community, from what I remember, has been top-notch. Very helpful people. They want new players. They want people to contribute. They want to win the war. So it only helps you to help other players. I used to be one of those guys when I knew what was going on. You know, when I played for 4 hours a day, every day, during the pandemic. What is my rank? How do I see my rank? I don't know if I can right now. I can't see it over my head, but my rank is pretty high. But I'm going to talk about that in the next video. How you get ranks and increase and like work your way up. Like this guy's a captain. So these guys are in the tutorial area, probably looking to help people coming in. This guy looks like he's AFK. F1. Oh, nice. And O, I don't know what an OCDT is. Yeah, sergeant. This must be corporal, captain, staff sergeant. I have to find out what OCDT is. Do you know what it is, Starna? Regiments are clans or guilds in this game. Squads, I think, are groups. Officer cadet. Oh, nice. So yeah, you don't need to know the basics. If you're an officer cadet and you've played pretty recently, you probably already know the basics of the game. And that's all I did in the video. I didn't play the actual game yet. I'm kind of easing myself back into the game by doing a few quick tutorial videos to refresh my memory and help anybody else out who might want to play or get them interested in playing. Because I'm gonna start this up real soon, probably the new year, and definitely want to be ready to go once the new war starts. So that's the idea. This war seems like it's pretty far in. There are a lot of casualties on both sides. Not being in the main map, I can't really tell what's going on, but I'll check that out next time. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you enjoyed it. Darnock, thank you. Thanks for the tips. Enjoy Foxhole, people. See you next time.